Now we are, instead of doing our best Wallace impression, let's do our best Gromit impression. Definitely, I think Random, you need to work on yours.
My phone went off, and I heard the noise, and I hope the microphone.
I think you gotta work through that one.
I'm better with Wallace anyway. I'm just like, hey, Gromit, how you doing? You want
I'm better with Wallace.
Cheese.
I can't stay quiet.
I'd like Wensleydale. That's all. Cheese and that's all he knows. This is Claire is beating all of us because she's a puppy.
That was the best nod we've had so far.
Yeah, that was the best nod, yeah.
And now the music.
Yes. Everybody, welcome to Living The DreamWorks. Is it an episode or is it a bonus? I don't know.
This counts as a bonus episode.
A bonus episode in the middle of it all. And we're doing Gromit.
Okay. The next film we're doing is Wallace and Gromit, Curse of the Were-Rabbit. Before we get there, I felt that it was going to be a good idea for us to have some context into Wallace and Gromit. So we're reviewing all of the shorts that matter. Because
yes.
we have 4 shorts: A Grand Day Out, The Wrong Trousers, A Close Shave, and A Matter of Loaf and Death.
And it was good for you to list those things. Now we should list who we are. I'm Random Bystander here.
I'm the Wallace. And today, Claire's like suffocating.
Yeah, Claire's just like, Claire's committing to the Gromit role, and she's doing a great job. I want to hear her voice at least once, but it may just be us talking for the entire time with some emotions happening, like some gestures that you could just feel in the podcast.
That was Claire.
Also, just like the past, she didn't introduce herself this time. Wallace and Gromit!
Like I said, we have four of them that matter. Starting from the very first one, I didn't count because they also had like web shorts and like some other like miscellaneous stuff, but no, it's fine. We have It's 2 hours worth of Wallace and Gromit. That's plenty, including one that was released after Curse of the Were-Rabbit, so in a sense we're jumping ahead, but there was no way we were gonna have like a separate episode for Matter of Loaf and Death. That's fine.
Yeah, no way. No, it was good, but not that good.
It's not that worth it.
Yeah, we'll just go do a bit of time traveling and go back in time to Were-Rabbit, and it's not like, I mean, you could tell. But you also there's nothing you need to know from Were-Rabbit.
As far as I can tell, I didn't see any like references to Were-Rabbit or anything like that, or clues. There might be something like hidden in there because there was some stuff from like earlier source that show up that I really appreciated. But no, these are very much like the stuff that were made for television, and you can very much tell that they were like solid, isolated source.
Isn't that right, Claire? Yeah, thank you for nodding. I will now, I'll be the voice of reason that says whether she nods or says no. Should we do experience with Wallace and Gromit or no?
Okay, do you two have experience with Wallace and Gromit? I guess we can start with that.
Honestly, other than Were-Rabbit, no. This was my first time actually watching the shorts, so I'm actually going to save my experience for Were-Rabbit with that, so I have nothing to say other than, jeez, Gromit! That's all I know it it from. That's all.
Okay. Okay. How about you, talking dog?
I don't know.
Like taking her head around.
Yep.
Eventually this
Eventually
this joke will end.
I hope so, because I want to hear her opinion. Edit this out.
I'm just gonna sit here and wait.
We're gonna wait. This is the entire episode. It's just silence. Just like no. Now, hold on. I know exactly be like Wallace and Gromit. Well, everybody, how you doing? Like, what the fuck?
Hello, everybody.
Yeah, right. Good day, man.
Cowboy Wallace here. I like to put my Wensleydale on a cup of chili.
Oh, God. Please talk. All right. Wash, I think you have the most experience with our Wensleydale loving friend. So
yes, I do. I actually was a big fan of Wallace and Gromit growing up. I don't know how I came across them. I'm sure this was something because it's like a huge like international sensation. Wallace and Gromit. So I'm sure that I'm sure like my I don't know, my parents showed me this or my or what. But like I definitely remember watching the Grand Day Out and definitely the wrong trousers. I'll talk about the experience of the wrong trousers. And I'm pretty sure I saw Close Date, but I don't remember nearly as much of it. And Loaf and Death is brand new. I think I watched like a Grand Day Out a few times as well because there's some imagery that's just like really stuck with me, like the jumping like way ahead, like the shot of like the robot skiing on the moon. And that brings me back. That's just such a nice image. But we'll talk about that when we talk about the actual sport.
Yes.
And then once we get to Were Rabbit, we can talk about that. But I also remember watching Were Rabbit as well. You know, I just really like the Aardman animations, and I like their stop motion. I like these guys.
Yeah, they're a good pair. I don't know what it is about them that was just so captivating, but like I don't know. It's also probably one of the first like most well-known stop motion animation duos.
Internationally, it's definitely like the biggest franchise. They've had like because like Aardman has stuff like Morph. There's stuff like Creature Comforts. But this is definitely the one where like Americans, for instance, actually know what the hell this is. Americans don't know what Morph is.
This is what British is, Wallace and Gromit. We threw tea in the harbor to get rid of Wallace and Gromit. We should have thrown cheese.
Womp womp.
So who wants to do? I mean, should we do?
Claire, do a plot synopsis of a Grand Day Out.
I was gonna wait for one of you to say who wants to do a plot synopsis and then give the plot synopsis, but you interrupted random.
Yeah, who wants to do a plot synopsis?
I'm not doing the plot synopsis now. I was quiet for like 20. I was quiet for like 20 minutes, and you stole my bit.
You ruined it. You don't get any Wensleydale.
I don't have a history with Wallace and Gromit.
Was it worth it?
It would be.
It would be.
Well, I say let's do them individually. So Wallace and Gromit go on vacation, and they want to go somewhere with lots of cheese, so they go to the moon, Gromit!
Everyone knows the moon is made of cheese.
A great line. I love that line.
I don't know what it is about that shot, but like the whole 2 hours I was watching Wallace and Gromit, like when I blinked, that shot, I saw it when I closed my eyes, of the camera slowly fading to the moon as he said, everyone knows the moon is made of cheese.
It's very iconic. That's basically it. They just go to the moon, to eat cheese.
Oh, but the robot.
Yeah. So aside from the robot, like Grand Day Out is definitely like it's definitely like the most sparse in terms of plot. Yes. Like they go to the moon and they happen to come across like a moon cop.
That's what it is?
Well, he wrote down a ticket on the train on the rocket.
The bat thing, the inflatable. It looks like a balloon to me.
The baton. Yes.
It's a baton. It's like a bobby. I forget they call it bobby pins, but like a police baton. It's very iconic for like, especially in like London, in like Britain, when they don't have they have very strict like gun control laws. Batons, like that's kind of the symbol of a cop.
Wow, really learning about British culture through Wallace and Gromit Go to the Moon.
I mean, it wouldn't be our first time learning about British culture.
yeah, true.
So it's very sparse in terms of plot. Where it lacks in plot, it makes up for in visuals and gags.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, throughout from beginning to end, there's so much visual gags.
Yeah. And
just everything going. And so much of it is told visually, even more than so compared to the other shorts, I think.
I would say, even obviously there's a lot of visual gags, but I think out of all of them, this is the one. I think 3 of the 4 of these do this, but this one more so than the other 2 that follow in its footsteps. This one is just content to let the visuals be, because it's claymation, right? It's stop motion. So it's just willing to be like, hey, look, it's claymation, it's stop motion, this is cool. You can just watch, Wallace walk up and down the ladder. You can watch him run to get, the crackers. The crackers, Gromit.
The crackers,
Gromit. We forgot the crackers.
Like, it's content to just do that with the only dialogue being, oh, the crackers, oh. It doesn't really, it's not, there's like so little dialogue here. I like it, but there's so little dialogue here.
First off, this is a student film. In case it wasn't obvious.
Wow, that makes sense.
And I don't mean like student film like the like Dead Right, the Edgar Wright film where like he made that like in between school like on the summer break. I mean like this is school property. This is literally like school property, and I think they had like legal issues with that as well, but I forgot the details. But like this was something that the creator Nick Park, he was working on this for so long. He started it in 1982, and by 1985 he finished 7 minutes of the short.
Yep, that's stop motion.
That's stop motion, you bet.
So like it actually took Jordan Ardman for him to suddenly have like, because like they gave him propositions like, if you like join our company and if you join our company, you can use our studio to finish up your short film. So like as he was helping out with like music videos and commercials and stuff like that, he was also trying to finish the stuff, but this was just taking forever. It was taking so fucking long, and you can definitely see that, and you can especially note like I'm sure that this isn't and this is like an intentional thing, that the fact that there's only one character with a mouth, that has to be intentional.
That has to be. I mean, obviously the fact there's only one character who talks, and the character who talks for all of like 5 sentences.
It's like it's very deliberately chosen, and also like sometimes like the mouths are inconsistent. Sometimes he doesn't have teeth. And sometimes like I don't know if you noticed that like when he was like in the basement, he was like walking down to the basement, like his walk cycle, it's like his body is like going forward and his legs are just following along.
Yeah, this one definitely looked the most clay, I guess, just in terms of the movements.
Yeah.
You could probably say it's a bad thing. I thought it was cute.
I agree. I thought it had a lot of charm to it.
I think all 4 of these are very well animated. Like, I don't know. A part of me, that's really hard because so the next 2 are very similarly animated, and the one after, you could tell which one came after the movie. But this one just kind of has a look and a feeling of its own, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of think that, I don't want to say it's the best, it might just be it looks the most unique, but I mean, unique charm is a big part of being better than the other things that you have. So I mean, this could be the best animated one. I definitely think the Probably I would say the robot is the best animated character in any of these.
Yes.
I'll probably say that.
Yeah. Oh my god,
Absolutely.
they put so much little details.
All the movements, just how
All he
much
is
did
his
he
arm.
stretch?
That's literally it.
It's that and a quarter. Like, what are the bare essentials for an episode of Ed, Ed and Eddie? Arms and a quarter.
All you need is the music, which they do add.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
actually
the music.
don't hear the Wallace and Gromit theme for Wallace and Gromit. You hear it for the skiing robot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That threw me off a bit. I was like, wait a minute.
Da, 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 da. It's a cute music too. But,
Yeah, it's great.
It's definitely like early version because like Wallace's mouth hasn't quite gotten to that iconic shape. He's still like more of a tin can than what he would really become. And even the second one, like they were still having some growing pains. That Gromit, I missed that. I now like looking at like how chunky Gromit is in the first one. I was like, I want that back.
Yeah,
He's just
honestly.
an orb. He's so cute.
Yeah,
He's
a little
adorable. I mean, he's still
adorable.
adorable in the game in the other movies, but like, I don't know. There's something about the original designs that are just unique.
How like a dynamic with only one person talking just has so much chemistry from like
Yes.
already. Like you can already kind of tell what these two are like. That like Wallace is like very optimistic and kind of dim, and Gromit is much more like focused and much calmer, much more observant. Like that's kind of a running theme with like all of these is that like Gromit notices something and Wallace is on his own on his own universe. Jeez.
Or he's like distracted by like something, whether it be like
Like a robot was gonna like knock him in the head, and all he's thinking is like, Camembert.
This isn't like any other cheese I've ever tasted.
honestly though, the cheese kind of looked good.
You
Like
know
the
what?
moon-
You know what? This is such like a stupid thing, but as a total like nitpick Nancy, I love the hell out of this. I love that they technically didn't confirm if the moon is made of cheese or not.
Yeah, he didn't.
Like,
He
it's
just
up
ate
to
it.
you to decide if the moon is made of cheese or if Wallace is just this super mega beef man who can cut the moon with a butter knife.
I love how the robot like
Glues
puts
it.
like, glues it back.
Oh my god, that made me laugh so hard. That made me
And then
laugh
later
so
you
hard.
see that he ate it again anyway.
Yeah, he ate it again anyway, yeah.
there's a like one gag. It starts and it ends, and that's all we need. Is like they get to the moon, and it's like, okay, let's like get down. Oh, well, we're on the moon, and Wallace throws the ball down, bounces it up, just stares and stares and stares, and then they move on.
It just gets out like a little annoyed grunt, and it's like, all right, whatever.
What did you think of the pacing of this short?
It definitely helped that this is the shortest of the four we watched. This was only 21 minutes. And I think like the fact that it's light and plot is made up for with the gags. The bit on the rocket where like they're just killing time. They're just waiting to get for the landing, and so they just have like these like small interactions. Like they hear bam, 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 and then it turns out it was just the toaster and the rocket. Or like Gromit is trying to like make a tower of cars, and it's like the rocket is shaking, but he's still like trying to finish this up. It's just small things. It's definitely very quiet. And that's probably like part of what made it like massively appealing for me is that there's so little dialogue in this that it can very much just run on its great visuals and like this very like iconic imagery.
It's weird, but I think the pacing is good because there's no dialogue. Dialogue would have made things drawn out a lot more, I feel like.
I think you're right. The fact that it's told visually just leaves you wanting more and everything more curious. They go into again, it's show don't tell, which for stop motion is so important. Because if they just had Wallace be like, I'm going to make a rocket, and I...
Oh,
well, they go through like a guise of like him playing tic-tac-toe with himself. But yeah, it's like immediately he's like he's drawing a rocket and he makes like the flames and go like.
Yeah, so here's the number one bit of early installment weirdness for this. I mean, obviously he had Gromit's help, but he builds the rocket and then nothing goes wrong.
Yeah, I was expecting. I mean,
if you've seen any of the others, you're used to things going wrong with Wallace's invention. So it's very early installment that he built the rocket and then they launched it. And the problem wasn't, oh no, I used cheese instead of fuel. The issue is the crackers, Gromit. We forgot the crackers. Which still fits into their dynamic. It's just completely different from what the other ones do.
Yeah, if anything, Wallace is the most competent here.
Yeah.
I mean, it is Wallace who gets the crackers, not Gromit.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, they're both very, because from the start you can see like how invented Gromit is. Like they talk a lot about like Wallace being invented, but like Gromit is the one that's like reading books, reading like electronics for dogs.
Yes.
Which it comes up a lot in this series.
Yes.
Like they're both very inventive. They both complement each other well. Like Wallace is very much into like building stuff, and Gromit is very much into the technology of it, into the wiring and everything like that.
Yeah,
and it's great. I love it.
It's nice. Yeah, the robot's cool. Again, just the fact that we learned so much about this robot, how who just randomly patrols around the moon, but has a dream of ice skating.
No, it's like
or skiing rather.
Like he read a magazine, and that was it.
That was it. Very.
He finds out about he finds out about the existence of skiing, and he's just like. Da, 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 da.
I love the fact that like he tries to get on the moon because he's like, I want to get off. And
and it's like. It's arms. That's all it is. It's arms and the way that his body leans around.
Yeah.
That's all we can tell from this. But immediately you know that he really wants to.
He really wants to just go on, join them out of the moon. But Wallace and Gromit are like, oh shit, he's attacking us.
I'm not gonna say that I was gonna cry or anything. I wasn't that sad, but like when the robot fell off the ship and the sad music started playing, I was like, baby.
But it's okay because he used the pieces of the ship
that fell off
to be jets.
Which I don't know much about NASA, but like Wallace and Gromit should be dead.
Yeah, they should be, but it's
okay because the robot's happy. But like Wallace and Gromit, my realistic Rachel senses are going off right now. I've got my eye on you.
It's all right. They ate the moon cheese, so that helped them.
That's true. I guess that gives them some realism points back. The moon is made of cheese. Everyone knows that.
Everyone knows that.
Like, we don't even know, like, why there's, like, a robot cop on the moon that has to be, like, coin-operated.
Yeah, that's my thing. It's like, why is it coin-operated?
Oh, my God. I love how it, like, it's just about to hit Wallace, and then it runs out of coins, and he's just like, oh, goodness. And he's like...
I know, it's he stops in the middle of the swing. Stuff happens, like Wallace puts a coin in, and then they as they walk off, he finishes the swing, and then he's just like he does the visual equivalent of like shoot with arms.
Yeah, just with arms. That's it.
Like Wallace, like Gromit, like he can express like a lot with his eyebrows. That's the big thing.
Yeah,
and it's just like the fact is that you don't even have a face. That's amazing. That's so like Nick Park was already like a genius, and he was a college kid. He was still trying to finish up college with this, trying to finish up this final project.
Genius storytelling,
and it's all that's needed.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite of the four.
No,
but this is. Like everything that's needed for this kind of story is right there, and it's just it's just sweet. That's the best way I can say it. It's just very, very sweet, very, very charming,
and it sets up who the two characters are perfectly.
Oh yeah. I would say, I mean, not that we're ranking them already, but There's not much thinking. Most likely, I would say this was my second favorite of the 4. Most likely.
Really?
I would probably say that, yeah.
Mm.
I mean, I know what my number 1 is, and I know what my number 4 is. It's mostly the middle, but I guess when we get to my other one, we'll talk about that, and then I'll say for sure. Most likely, I'm going to say a solid, most likely, this is my number 2.
Okay.
I will hold off on my rankings until then.
That
I'm honestly not sure.
That works. This is the first time that you're the one holding on.
Yeah, mostly because I don't know yet. I didn't think about it.
Then let's move on up to a few years later. BBC, they like a grand day out. They commission the Aardman and Nick Park to make another Wallace and Gromit short for the holiday season. So they
wait, this is for the holidays?
This was came out in December the 17th.
Oh, that explains the penguin.
And the third one is literally released Christmas Eve. Like, it was specifically a Christmas short.
Really?
And Loaf and Death was released on Christmas. Wow.
Nothing says Christmas like sheep prison.
I guess that's why Loaf and...
We'll get to that.
That's why the Loaf one was the last short that matters, because it was released on Christmas. You can't get much closer to Christmas Day than Christmas Day.
Exactly. Christmas Day, yeah. So it's BBC and, like, the UK, they have their own thing with, like, Christmas stuff. But the important thing is, this is with television money. I forget if they had to, like, do some wrangling to get the character rights or not. But they made another. They got commissioned to make a short, and right off the bat.
Yep. Oh my God.
Gromit lost some weight, but also, wow, this looks great.
It's such a glow up.
It's kind of crazy how much improvement happened.
For lack of a better term, the dough is already set by this point. Like, it's everything, like everything that you need is right there in front of you. You know, you have the iconic, Wallace's mouth is finally, where it needs to be. You have you finally get the standard Wallace and Gromit structure. Finally, like, you're starting to get, like, a plot through here. You're starting to get, like, really into invention, and especially inventions going wrong.
Yeah.
Yep. Who wants to do a plot synopsis of this one?
They're just in debt.
Yeah,
so,
they're broke.
They're broke. So Wallace.
It's Gromit's birthday. First off.
Yes, it is Gromit's birthday. So just to start off, that is just their love and friendship. And Wallace, part of his first birthday present is a collar and leash, and he says, like, "Now you look like somebody's own you." It's like, okay, Wallace. And then the second one is more for Wallace than for Gromit. Robo trousers.
Yeah,
Robo trousers.
Which I love how his thought process is. Gromit needs walks, but I'm lazy. These pants will do it for me.
These trousers will do it for me.
Sorry, I'm not from the UK.
And like, so like, it does exactly that, and then Gromit like immediately figures out, this is bullshit. I can just take this off and go and play in the playground. But for the main story, Wallace decides to do some subleasing, and immediately they get a response from this strange penguin.
Yeah, really strange.
A little weird.
A penguin that is starting to be a little too friendly.
Yeah.
What's his angle?
Yeah, exactly. Gromit's suspicious. Sees something suspicious, but Wallace, he's like, oh, as long as you
isn't
pay.
that nice?
Isn't that nice?
I kind of feel bad for Gromit because he just takes Gromit's room, and then Wallace is just like, he knows something he shouldn't be doing this, but like also like he doesn't want to lose the tenant, and he's like almost I think it's either he's too afraid to stand up for Gromit, or he just doesn't want to lose the tenant, and because money, they're broke.
I think it's a case of money, because like he's saying like, oh, there's just a problem. Oh dear, like he's trying, but he just can't get the word out.
Yeah.
And so he has to try to paint a brighter picture for Gromit that like the crappy room is actually good. It's a lovely what a layer of paint can do.
Yeah, at least he does go through trying to paint the room, which is nice.
Yeah,
he does care. He's not out of malice. He's not like, well, you get the bad room now. It's like they care about each other.
Yeah. It's just unfortunately Wallace is thick. He's very
yes.
He's very clueless.
Yeah.
And the penguin Feathers McGraw, as we later find out. Feathers just plays music too loud. The great shot of like Gromit with like bags under his eyes. It's just like tiny bits of clay, and that's all that's needed.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And he not only like tries to make Gromit's life a living hell, he just tries to replace Gromit by doing everything that Gromit would do, like get the paper, put on his shoes, and hang out with him for tea, and just like all while giving Gromit the dirtiest looks a penguin like him can get.
The penguin doesn't even have like he has like a beak that doesn't open, and he has like no eyebrows or anything. He just stares.
Literally, that's the only expression. But so much is demonstrated by the vast emptiness.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what's in those eyes, and that's the scary thing.
Oh no, I know what's in those eyes. It's hatred.
Yes. Also, the music does a good job of telling it too.
Yeah.
Like,
definitely.
the moment he enters, you just hear this ominous music play.
Yeah. And I mean,
and like, you just know something's wrong.
Even if you're watching it muted, which I mean, I feel like Wallace and Gromit is a great thing. Nothing against the sound, or you can watch it muted. That's what I'm saying. But when the penguin walks in, or Feathers, whatever, walks in and just stares at Gromit, you get that vibe that, Gromit grows suspicious, and as soon as you see that, and you can tell pretty quickly that something's up with the penguin.
But you don't know what.
Yeah, until it's revealed that the chicken is wanted for like 1,000 pounds, I think.
I forget what I didn't pay attention to the number. I was more paying attention to Feathers McGraw.
And the fact that he has just like a rubber glove.
He has a rubber glove, and Gromit is just like, I don't know.
Looks familiar.
It's the, what does that remind me? Oh no, it's Perry the Platypus. That's what it is.
Oh my god!
Like
the platypus when he sees the penguin with the rubber glove on. Perry the Platypus.
Perry the Penguin. Yeah.
Oh my god, that is too perfect.
Yeah. Anyway, like it's eventually like you catch on that his plan is literally to like drive Gromit out, because Feathers know that one's too smart. We can't have that one around anymore. So drives him out, and then goes through this great sequence where he takes over the trousers, makes it remote controlled, and uses it to like break into a museum to collect a precious I think it's called Blue Diamond or something like that. From there, it goes to a whole another level.
Oh my god! There's this whole escape sequence that's like intense of them trying to get the diamond while Wallace is still sleeping.
Yeah, sleeping the whole time. Yep. He wakes up like close to the end of it, right? Like very close to the end is when he wakes up.
Yeah. He's just like, Gromit, while he's hanging upside down.
Aww.
They eventually like get on the side of the wall, and the Feathers, who put the glove on as a disguise, it's like walking down, and all Wallace is like, oh, mind yourself. This was like Wallace is just too like polite. He doesn't get like angry. He's just like,
oh my god,
he's just like surprised, like, oh, are you gonna do that now?
The point that caught me so off guard, because I didn't know who was coming at all.
Nobody did.
Was when they go to the room and
Gromit comes in with a pin.
Wallace just gets trapped in the closet. Gromit comes in with a paddle. Then the penguin pulls out a fucking gun. I literally lost it.
Yes.
I was like, what the fuck?
Oh my god. I
And then he immediately just gets his hands up and then just guides him, opens the door. Wallace is still talking, and then they close.
yeah,
the door
Wallace
with
is still
Gromit
talking the whole
inside.
time. You ever have that moment where it happens and all you could think is, "Thank God I'm not drinking anything."
Yes.
that was it.
And it's just perfectly done.
It's just so funny. The fact that you see this like neutral faced penguin pull out a fucking shot.
The penguin,
pull out like a magnum.
Even if they gave the penguin like the angry Kirby eyes, it would have made it worse. It's specifically the empty, no expression that you see him the whole time, just yoink. And
It's
then Gromit's
perfect
like,
meme material. It is. I'm surprised I didn't get this spoiled through. Like this wasn't a meme on Twitter or something.
Yeah,
like this feels like right at home.
yeah,
with a shit
on
post I
social
would
media.
see.
Yeah, I've never seen it before.
I'm so glad I
Oh,
didn't.
same. But I'm just, I'm with you. I'm surprised that this hasn't spread.
Well, now it's our job to know. No, watch the short yourself. It's so perfect.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
like when
perfectly done.
when it's on Gromit, the text is Claire trying to keep up the bit. Then when it pans to the penguin with the gun, it's Wash not cooperating.
And then I'm just trapped in
gonna
the
put the
closet.
No, Random is Wallace in the closet who's talking a bunch of.
That's literally what it was. Damn it! Now we have to keep in that moment of silence.
like we're doing we're trapped in the closet and I'm trying to like get the podcast going and you're just like, oh, mind the wood.
Mind the woods. Oh, and then the whole train sequence.
Oh,
my
that was fantastic.
God.
That was fantastic.
Did they foreshadow the train? Yeah, they did foreshadow the train before, right?
They have the train running through, and this is another thing that's making me like love these stories. It's just how much foreshadowing. There's so many bits that they set up beforehand. The train, like you see it running around for a good while, and sure enough, it becomes an entire action scene where they're trying to get the penguin, and they do stuff with like redirecting. They do stuff with disconnecting the toy trains. There's a point where there's beautiful shot, beautifully done. Where they're trying to they realize that there's no more track left. So like Gromit literally grabs the box and just that was like Buster Keaton. That was just perfect.
That's so good.
And it's tense. It's so tense.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes. Oh my god!
I just love that there's an infinite supply of them, and like you can pull out the pieces like for turning. Just pull out those pieces when needed. Can't pull out the one that would avoid ramming into the cabinet, but it worked out. I did like that though. There was a goofy little bit of slapstick when they were looking at the penguin and then bam, right into the cabinet.
Yep. Oh god, how do they catch the penguin again?
Everybody like crashes. And Gromit lands in the kitchen. An empty milk bottle comes out, and the penguin just slipped perfectly inside the milk bottle.
Also, I love how the gun is like so much of a threatening thing.
Yeah.
In an obstacle, and then Wallace just grabs like, I'll take that, thank you,
thank you,
and then gets like whacked. What the hey, the gun's gone.
Yeah.
And it pays off with the great. I completely forgot about this gag that like they send him to the police, and Feathers is behind bars, and it pans out and it says, "Welcome to the zoo."
Welcome to the zoo.
Welcome to the zoo.
With a smiling penguin on the side, and Feathers' like only bit of voice is just going.
I also love the foreshadowing of like the pants dragging Gromit, and then near the end it shows the pants dragging the penguin.
Yeah. That's
It's
very
just
cute.
like, oh, we might as well use it, and then they throw it in the trash.
Yeah,
but then it wakes up and it just walks away into the sunset.
Perfect way to end it.
I do think the mechanical sound of the trousers walking after a while got a little
They didn't have enough sounds.
yeah, it's like I hate
It did
I hate
repeat
to
a lot.
compare it to this because I mean I'm about to get into what my big problem with it is, but it's better. But it reminded me a little of like Spirit and how, you know, it was just over and over. How like they could have done with a little more variety. I mean, Spirit technically had more variety, but it was way longer.
I think the issue is I would guess at least that they didn't have as much time for like Foley work
Yeah.
to like actually get like, you know, just do the mechanical sounds physically and get more variety that way. I think they had to. It's still like, I mean, I didn't notice it nearly as much. The sound overall is like we mentioned like music, like the fact that there's like they actually have like a score doing this, it definitely heightens the cinematic feel of it. And speaking of cinematic, the shots, the cinematography,
Yes.
is just so strong. Like the use of lighting, the shot compositions they have, like it just pays off so well. The scene where like Gromit is like spying on feathers, like taking measurements of the bank, while inside of a box that he like cut like eye holes through.
Oh my god.
And it's so. I remember the scene because like he's the feathers is like walking, and then he looks straight at the camera, and I was like, as a little kid, I was like, ah. It just scared the shit out of me.
And then it cuts, and then he looks, and then he walks away, and then it cuts to like the box.
The box itself was just a dog, just a cartoon dog,
like,
even more.
Like there's a
than
reason
Wallace.
why he didn't suspect it was Gromit. I thought that was great.
Yeah,
and then the gags were definitely top notch as always. I mean, they are for all four, but the gags are definitely top notch here.
Yeah.
This is definitely where they're thinking like, okay, first one is good. Now that we got a TV budget, which still isn't that big, but now that we got a TV budget and we have a crew, because that's the other thing, that the first one was like almost entirely Nick Park. So now that we have a crew working on this, let's start getting smarter. Let's start get like pulling more proper cinema.
Also, I feel bad for Gromit in this one. I feel bad for him in two
Oh
shorts.
my god, when he's in the doghouse and he's like
crying.
He's crying. His eyes are wet.
Oh, it's not the first time he cried. I mean, it is the first time. It's not the only time he cries in these shorts, which is
like I know, like let's leave the dog alone.
Yeah, leave poor Gromit alone. I know why you're doing it, but still, it just was like sad. But also, I could see if this is the problem you're talking about. Claire.
It's Gromit isn't necessarily. I mean, obviously, Gromit wouldn't be my problem, but it's not that. It's not anything directly relating to Gromit is why this one didn't win so much for me, so to speak. It's Wallace. I hate the kind of story where, I mean, even before we get to, like, the penguin, just, it's Gromit's birthday, and he gets him, like, the freaking leash and the collar. I hated that, actually. And then it gets to, like, the penguin, and obviously, you know, he cares enough about Gromit to try to make the best of the situation. He tries to tell the penguin to get out of his room and everything. But the fact that it, like, got to the point where Gromit ran away and Wallace never even realizes it, I hated that.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Yeah, now, let me preface. This is great.
Yeah.
This whole thing was great. The problem here is with Wallace for me. And I think by the time it gets to Act 3, I think Act 3 is perfect. I can't think of any real issues with Act 3. It's just, I mean, like a little nitpick with like the repetition of the sound, I guess, but it's mostly Wallace in Act 1 and Act 2. That's where I am really falling off with this one. Gromit, no problems. The penguin, no problems. The gun, no problems. It's this very specific, it's just this kind of story. And maybe it's just because I personally haven't ever seen it done right. I'm thinking like, a pal for Gary from SpongeBob, like this is better than that.
God.
But it's like that's just what I've come to expect from this kind of story, and it's just I don't like this kind of story. And they add a fun angle to it, and the visuals mostly make up for it. I just can't say I definitely like it less than the first one, and it's Wallace. It's all Wallace.
Imagine if the penguin just goes, Wallace, I thought what we had was special.
That's a different episode, but yeah,
I know, but like it's the same thing.
Yeah,
just, like,
yeah,
reversed.
no, fair.
Like,
I will give us maybe not defense, but I will at least give that even if he doesn't like pick up that Gromit has left. That's not like his immediate response to being in danger is screaming out Gromit. I think it's still really sweet. It's clear like what kind of relationship they have that they
Yeah.
Also, you could argue Wallace gets his comeuppance for not listening to Gromit or like ignoring him.
Being an accomplice
Karma's a
to
bitch.
a bank robbery, to a museum robbery. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
guess.
say bank robbery. It's definitely not a bank.
yeah, it's a museum.
So it's just like all the tiny little gags that they put like in the background or on props. Like when at one point like I think Gromit himself is reading the newspaper and the headline said "Dog reads paper."
Yeah.
And,
Yes. Oh, the third one. We'll get to the third one, but the newspaper gags in the third one. Good lord.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
And like on that same
Oh
paper,
my God.
on that same paper, there's one in like smaller size that says "Sheep found guilty."
We'll get to the third one. We'll get to the third one.
And I'm pretty sure like they weren't working on the third one.
Oh, true. Yeah. It's just
So
happy
like
accident.
they just had like sheep on the brain. Like Random said, a huge glow up in terms of plot, in terms of like overall like construction. Like we said, the third act, perfect.
Yeah, it's absolutely perfect. I like this better than the original, the first one.
I
Mostly
agree.
because of that third act. If I had to rank them.
Well, if we're gonna continue
Yeah.
on, then let's get a
What?
little bit closer to a
Wait,
close
Claire,
shave.
how would you react?
Oh,
How would you
I
rank
like this one. I like
Oh.
this one less.
Less than the
Yeah, I
first
like this
one.
one less. It's Wallace.
Yeah, I get it. Okay.
I hate saying it like that because it's like, oh, I hated it. Like, no, this is still like.
No.
I'd probably say they're both like A tier material. Like, I had a lot of fun with both. It's just.
Yeah.
I said my piece.
No, you're fine.
So, with that said, the third one, the plot synopsis for the third one is that Wallace and Gromit are running a window cleaning business, and Wallace, gets a little, if you know what I mean. And there is also,
He's straight.
while Wallace is getting hoo he ho ho, there is basically a sheep kidnapping not conspiracy. It's like literally happening.
The sheep wrangling.
Sheep wrangling.
yes.
Thank you. And the sheep are going missing, and one of the sheep finds their way into Wallace and Gromit's house, and through that sheep, Gromit specifically, Wallace finds out later, but Gromit finds out about the sheep wrangling, not conspiracy, I keep saying that, but the sheep wrangling incidents, I suppose, and they try to put a stop to it while finding out the culprit, while Wallace is still trying to get lucky, while they're still trying to run their window cleaning business, because I guess after they went in debt, they didn't want to go into debt again.
Also, this starts the trope of Wallace and Gromit having jobs.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is where it's like really set in stone, like what a Wallace and Gromit sword is, or what a Wallace and Gromit story is.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're trying to make money. They're inventive, and so they're gonna do like a very basic thing: window washing, bakery. Later on, they're gonna be doing the rabbit wrangling, but it's just the basic idea. Basic idea is like we're gonna do a simple job. We're gonna do it our way. We're gonna do it with our crazy inventions. Like
Yep.
we're gonna use a bungee cord to wash
I
windows.
love that.
That's so
Yes.
the gag later on, like later into it, where like Wallace is like leaving the store and like. There's like a whole thing with it, but like Gromit is like outside hanging upside down, very grumpy, and all he's thinking is like the bounce has gone from his bungee.
That's such a great line.
It is. What did you think of the porridge? How did that look?
Any of like the liquids is either you're gonna be like a perfectionist and you're gonna say like it looks bad, or you're gonna be like it's charming.
Yes.
And
I
think
love
it's
the way
charming.
that the any of the cleaning spray. I thought that looked super cool.
the soapy water,
Yeah.
It has like a caviar texture to it, like
Yeah.
it's like tiny beads.
Yeah.
Like you get the idea of it.
It doesn't have to look realistic. It just has to look like, you look at it and you're like, oh, I get it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It does its job. I talked about it in second run. This is the one where like they finished the first short, and then BBC is like, great, do another one, 2 years for Christmas. 2 year in 2 years, and they're like, this kind of take a while, but they had to hire even more people, and then once they realized, like, oh, we're gonna probably be making a film with this weird Jeffrey Katzenberg guy, so let's do a close shave as kind of a test run.
Yes.
Let's try to get like really put everything into this so that we have a good idea of like what this would be like for 90 minutes.
Yes.
I
would say
this is my favorite.
Okay,
Yeah, my favorite.
I was getting really worried when we were talking about the second one that I would be alone on that. This one is not even close. It's my favorite one.
Absolutely.
I still like that third act and the second one a lot, but yeah, I agree. This is the best one.
This is the one that's like perfect. This
like this is so well paced.
So here's my thing. There is one specific line of dialogue that I'm going to describe to explain why like the story of this one works so well to me. It's when the evil dog is he like breaks the cane of Wensleydale, and she's like, I'm not going to let you turn me into dog food. And it's like, on the one hand, it's like, it's kind of messed up. Starting into dog food, like, if you think about it, it's really messed up. But on the other hand, it's like, dog food? What?
Yeah, because if you think about it, oh god, all those sheep.
Yeah, all the sheep are going to become dog food. That's messed up, but it's like, dog food?
Dog
I love it, because, like, I mean, I think this one has, like, the best combination of high stakes, and it's really dumb.
Yes,
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
That's what I like so much about it. I almost want to use, like, Goofy to describe it.
Because if you think about it, the whole villain, the antagonist of this short, is a robotic dog that was created by a professor of the love interest.
No, you were created for good, but now you're evil.
Professor.
Yeah,
It's the father.
Yeah.
the
Father
father
created
is the
you for
professor.
good, not for
Oh.
evil.
Yeah, and I love how he's just like, you think it's like Gromit, like, but Butch.
Yeah.
And but
Oh, what a
Gromit,
great design. What a great design.
It's a cool design.
Sorry, but like Gromit but Bush is implying that Gromit himself is femme.
I mean,
Listen, Hardman, maybe
I'll leave that.
for the design. I'm just saying.
I'll leave that alone for now.
there's gonna be a joke later in
Yeah.
Were Rabbit where that's gonna apply, but just wait. But we'll wait for that in the next episode. But I had a design of him, and I got hints that he was a robot based on his movement and just like what he does, but mostly how he moves. But it took me until the end, like, oh my god, is he a robot? Because like it's not obvious, which is actually really cool. He just looks like a bad dog.
There were like clues early on where they're talking about created and Daddy didn't create you for this.
Yeah.
It's starting to lay on like what's going on here. The fact that we get a second speaking character, Wendell,
Yes.
and like it's Wallace but femme, and it's so funny.
I thought that was great. I thought that was a
Literally,
great call.
when the opening shot happened and you see a close up of Fem
Of
Wallace,
Wendell, yeah.
of Wendell, which is, oh my god, the name is even Fem Wallace.
Yes.
But you get a close. I literally thought they were doing like Ernest Goes to Jail type of thing, where it was like an evil Wallace.
Oh, I loved Ernest Goes to Jail.
Yeah, that's one of the best.
I literally thought that's what they were going to do, and it was just like an evil Wallace with like a robot Gromit. But
they did that for the fourth one. Anyway,
yeah.
all they needed to do was just like have Wallace and Gromit like drive over to where to the job to where they need to wash the windows. and it could just be like 5 seconds. Just have them like drive out in that same motorcycle. We'd be like, yeah, motorcycle. But the fact that it's like a complicated like Rube Goldberg machine of like Wallace like sliding on different slides, and then not only like they get on the motorcycle, Wallace lifts his foot and waits for a robot boot to rev the engine for him. And then they get out and they have like a fake lake that flips over to be a driveway.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah,
with the gnome from the first,
with
the go sign.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, again, this could be like 5 seconds, and instead it's this complex gag that's just this builds and builds and builds, and
it probably took hours, days even.
It almost certainly took oh god, if you're talking stop motion, it took weeks.
Yeah.
We're talking a long ass time.
Yeah, stop motion, of course.
All this. Like they're all inventive, but this one is just so smart. We talk about the bungee. Obviously, like that would become its own gag with Preston using it to harass harass Gromit. And we also get the introduction of Sean, which is a very British joke. Do you get what the joke is?
Yes, of course. They're referencing Shaun of the Dead.
No.
No, Random, you're wrong. It's predicting Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, yes, you're right. Of course.
Yes. Yeah.
I will say this. I forget if it was on Nickelodeon or something, but they made a series called Shaun the Sheep, and I was like, a sheep in Wallace and Gromit style. It'd be funny. It would be named Shaun. And then I hear Wallace go, we'll call him Sean. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yep. So, like that's the other thing, that this is the introduction of Sean the Sheep. And it's weird that, like, I don't know how Nick Park does it, but he just creates an entirely new franchise. So, like, Sean the Sheep is huge. It's not huge in America, but, like, it's massive in, like, internationally.
It's because
he's cute and he has a sweat. They gave him a sweater.
Okay. I know it's not as like flashy as what they did in the second one, but when they were like real time knitting the vests, I can't even imagine how long it must have took to get that right.
Oh my god.
I can't even imagine. It's so good. I love, speaking of the vests, or the sweaters, whatever. When they're doing the chase in Act 3 and they break into the building and Wallace sees the machine, instead of freaking out about everything that's going on or catching the villain in his tracks, he's like, hey, that's mine. He took it.
I got patent pending on that.
He has a priority.
Yeah, exactly. I love throughout the whole, if we're talking about Gwendolyn being literally Femme Wallace, Wallace is saying, Gromit, help! The whole time she's saying, Sean, help, do something!
Their romance is like so...
It's so funny.
Okay,
That's the thing.
Okay.
Like,
I literally just did this like 5 seconds ago, but I'm gonna do the okay bit again. At first, I was like, I'm not into it. This could be like the one thing holding it back for me. The punchline. You want to come in and have some cheese? Oh, I hate cheese. It breaks me out in a rash. Instantly loses all affection for her.
Yeah.
I this was the moment. It was laughter, don't worry, but this is the one moment that made me cry.
Yeah.
I lost it. Like, of course, it's the cheese. Like, Wallace's character arc from the beginning has been cheese.
You know what my favorite... Wait. My favorite thing about it is that there's this whole moment where she's like, you don't want to be around me. We shouldn't be together. Goodbye. And he's more disappointed that he doesn't like cheese than that moment. Yep. Like, he's confused, but a little sad, but confused more. When he finds he's like, she doesn't like cheese. Heartbroken.
You can see it.
Not even when
slams the door. Can you now see why, like, when they were doing Chicken Run, they were really confused on, like, the American screenwriters saying there has to be a romance in this. Because to them, it's a joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
This is the romance that they needed.
Yeah. Oh man, could you imagine if this is what the Chicken Run romance was like?
Like, if you're gonna do this stupid thing, make it stupid.
Make
Yes.
it stupid, exactly.
It's so funny. It's so funny.
So
And
funny.
he's just thinking about not even Wensleydale.
What's wrong with Wensleydale?
What's wrong with Wensleydale?
He's like so shocked someone couldn't like cheese. Deal breaker.
Literally.
Just really quick there. Wensleydale is like an actual cheese. It's actually like at the time of it was actually like struggling. It was struggling to make money. And then when they made this, when this came out, like suddenly they were making millions because everyone was talking about Wensleydale from Wallace and Gromit. Like, it wasn't that big of a cheese until Wallace and Gromit came out, until they said, hey, can you, like, sponsor our cheese? This is great. This worked out perfectly.
Yeah.
Oh my god. The fact that doesn't surprise me at all. It's the equivalent of, like, I guess, Lightning McQueen talking about, like, I don't know, okay, maybe bad example. Maybe someone from a Pixar character talking about, like, I don't know.
Okay.
Hot sauce.
Okay, if we're going to use the Pixar example, Toy Story, like, Potato Head, that was a thing before Toy Story, right?
Yeah.
And then Toy
Yeah.
Story came out, everybody had to have a potato head because
Yep.
it's Toy Story. That's Mr. Potato Head to you, you backstabbing murderer. That's Wensleydale to you, you cheese-hating sheep wrangler.
Oh my god. So the way this plot goes, it's actually quite busy in terms
Yeah.
of
Oh my
story.
god.
Gromit gets framed for sheep murder.
Yeah.
And he goes to prison and he gets life in prison.
He goes to trial and he gets life in prison, and you just
Woolly
hear, like,
Gate scandal.
Oh my god, I saw that, yeah.
Killer dog Gromit arrested.
My favorite thing though is just Wallace and then all the sheep, because of course all the sheep now live with Wallace now.
Yeah.
And he's like so upset because they're eating all the cheese and everything.
Get off
No,
of my
that's first-
cheese.
No, at first he's like reading a newspaper. He's like, I forget what his exact line is, but he's like, "Oh, Gromit," and then it gets worse. Oh, Gromit,
And
then
everybody's
at
like crying.
yeah. At the end, all the sheep are just so upset.
No, okay. I'm doing this again. This obviously is clearly how much I love this short. I keep saying okay. Wallace and the sheep, they're crying, and then Gromit's in jail, gets the dog food and the sheep puzzle, thinking about the sheep, starts crying, puts the puzzle together. Friday, 8 p.m. Friends will save you, or whatever. It's like,
And the funny thing is, he looks at the calendar. Friday. He looks at his watch.
he
8
looks at the
p.m.
window and the sheep are there.
When he's like breaking down crying, it broke my
Yeah,
heart.
it's really
It
sad.
did.
And then you see Friday, 8 p.m. Be ready.
Like it's like
It's more
Gromit just cared so much about them.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
sweet.
and it's more justifiable than Wallace ignoring him.
Yeah. And I mean, another thing, I definitely buy that Wallace cares about Gromit a lot more here than he did in the second one. Like, Wallace
Yeah.
is there when they save Gromit, when they're taking care of the sheep, they're doing it together. Even when he's flirting with Femme Wallace, as I'm going to call her from now on, he's still, he leaves her so that he can, take care of Gromit dangling on the dangle or whatever.
Yeah, he still cares
Yeah,
about
I definitely
Gromit.
get the vibes a lot more that, like, I mean, he's adult, he's a doofus, but, like, Gromit is his number one,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I like that. I like that.
absolutely.
I think this carries over. There's obviously something that gets in the way, but I think that carries over into the next one as well.
Yep.
The bit when they like get out of the prison and like they're hiding behind looks like you have to get out of the country, and like Wallace said, a fugitive, eh? that's a cute
They're
thing.
hunting you like
A
Like a
dog,
dog.
and he's like, "I hate you."
and
He's
oh
just
my
so clueless. Like he just think this is neat.
yeah. That's what everything is to Wallace, except for
it's
no
like,
cheese.
Oh. Yeah, no cheese. That's where he draws the line. And then we get the twist that like, oh, I'm not gonna We'll let you turn them into
Dog
dog food.
Yeah.
And then we get a car chase.
Oh, the car chase ruled.
It's so good. My
it's
favorite
car
part
chase
about
and plane chase somehow.
Yeah, they fit a plane. Yeah, because
we see Gromit in the plane.
Yeah, he's about to do a 2,000-foot drop, and then he's just like, "Oh, I don't have to worry because this is also an airplane."
Yes,
and it's so good. And then the porous comes back, and he uses the porous to like shoot at the truck.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
My favorite thing about is like when all the sheep get out and they're all on the car together. And Wallace goes, "Pull yourself together," and then it cuts
on single file
get organized then, and then you see them all in like this little formation.
They're like the upside down triangle, the human pyramid.
It's just so funny.
It's so good. Oh my god! And it still builds and builds. Like they get inside, they find out about the machine, and then like it's all this like crazy shit happening. The bit that I can't believe like actually like pays off. It's a gag from the first story where like Gromit crashes through and accidentally like destroys his wings because while trying to go through a brick wall, and he's aiming straight for Preston. Preston grabs the propellers, and Gromit just goes spinning. Which is a joke from the first one. That's exactly what, like, he did. The exact same thing happened with the screwdriver. I forgot what the drill. The exact thing happens with the drill. It's like, wonderful.
Yeah. What did you guys think of, like, the reveal of him being a robot? Not necessarily the twist, but more the design.
Oh, my God.
That was scary. That would scare a kid.
Yeah, if I was a kid watching this, I definitely would have been terrified. Especially, I can't get over this. Like, watching this, I was like, there's no way they did this. When he was in the machine, and it cuts to the cans for the dog food, and the metal parts, including his eyes, are pouring out into the can for edible dog food.
Oh my god!
And the subtle joke that I can't believe I didn't notice, because like the cans say Preston's dog food, and by the end, Preston is dog food.
Preston is the dog food.
That's so good. That's so subtle. I love that.
Great. It's so good.
So good. Oh my god.
I'm trying to think of oh my god. There's a lot of little jokes. Like at first you see like the levers in the beginning when they trim Sean in the knitting machine, and it's like it's light, it's medium shave, and near the end of the move, and near the end when he gets stuck into the machine, Gromit switches it to close shave and he winks at the camera. I
loved the sheep in this. I adored the sheep in this.
Like, I was worried they were gonna get to like I don't want to say minions because they're not that bad, but I was worried they were gonna get like cute Disney animal syndrome.
Yeah.
Too in your face.
Yeah, but they were fine. Even Sean was fine.
Oh, like, Sean was like adorable. Potentially my favorite part. Maybe. I would have to think about that, but definitely like
I don't know. He's not my favorite part. Gromit is my favorite part.
Fair. Sean is a candidate for my favorite part of this one.
I could see why he got his own spinoff.
Oh, definitely. Easy. Even ignoring the design, like just what was done here. Absolutely.
Yeah, just how like crafty these sheep are.
So I guess speaking of the sheep, not directly related, but there is more of it here, especially because there's another human character. But I think what's most impressive about this one to me, even more than a lot of the nutty visuals, there's still not that much dialogue in this. This still feels like Wallace and Gromit in terms of like there's not that much talking. It's still mostly Wallace doing his Wallace thing. Wendolyn has those few lines of hers, but most of it is still just done through the visuals. That's how most of this story is being told. And it's just so cool.
Oh my god, when Wallace is like trying to like say his feelings and then he just gets dragged out by sheep.
Yeah, the sheep, yeah.
Oh, there's so much good visual gags.
They're all over. They're littered all over.
Yeah, this one's my favorite. I still think I like the second one better than the first one, but this one wins.
No, this is my favorite of the four. I'm not saying that it's not even close as to say I dislike the other ones. This is just the one that for me, like, everything works. Everything works.
Yeah.
It is perfect. It is everything it needed to be. Just my final thoughts is I'm gonna point out this like because we were talking about newspaper guy in Gromit's jail cell. There's a painting. There's worse graffiti on the wall that says "feathers worth ear."
Yes, oh, I saw that.
Oh, I didn't see that.
That's
great.
Awesome, that was great. But it was also super sad because on the wall you see a picture of Wallace and Gromit together.
Because she's like bawling on top of the puzzle box, just heartbroken about like how this all happened, and like he's putting the puzzle together like perfectly without even looking at it. He's just so sad that he's just doing this automatically, and before he even notices that there's like
wait a minute,
and giant red text.
So it's everyone's favorite in agreement.
Yeah, it's solidly.
Yep. Which makes the fourth one
a little disappointing.
It's not bad.
It's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad. No. It's just like, out of all of them, yes, this is the one you could tell. Well, do we want to do a plot synopsis?
Sure.
There is someone murdering bakers in the town, and Wallace and Gromit now work in a bakery delivering bread, and they find this woman. I forget her name.
I've got to write it down.
She was like a famous baker person. Wallace falls for her.
Paella.
Paella. Oh, get it.
Yeah.
Oh, God. She fancies him. They're together. Gromit, it doesn't think anything of it, but he goes to visit and then realizes that she's the one who murders the bakers, and she wants to kill a baker's dozen worth of bakers, and Wallace is the last one. Shenanigans ensue, and there's also Claire Fluffle.
I'm not a poodle. I don't look anything like that poodle, okay?
I kept hearing Fluffles, and I was like...
Okay, alright, fair.
That's all I could think about.
Fair. I wish I was in Wallace and Gromit. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, so, there's one reason why this is my least favorite out of all four of them.
Wow.
You could probably tell based on the way I've been talking about the first three what it is. This kind of worries me for the movie, but it's longer, so I think I'll be okay with it just based on that fact. They talk way too much.
Yeah, I agree. I don't mind it too much because I'm used to talking, but like I can especially
compared to
like
those first three.
Yeah, it's tell, don't show. It's more telling than showing.
And that's what it's like. There's really like one extra character, like speaking character in this. Like maybe two if you count like the baker at the very beginning. But really, it's just like Wallace and Paella, and yeah, like they just talk a lot.
They talk a lot.
Yeah.
They talk a lot.
She drives the plot. She literally makes the plot happen. And there's not as many gags, I don't think. There's some, don't get me wrong, especially near the end with the bomb thing, but...
A big problem for me is Paella herself, because there's nothing subtle about it.
They're really not. From the very beginning, you can tell.
Like it was either going to be her or the dog. And the dog is like shivering.
Yeah, exactly.
Honestly, I kind of wish it was the dog.
I thought it was going to be the dog. I thought they were going to like,
that would have been so much better.
No, that would have been better. I didn't think they were going to do it though. It's, there's some unwritten rules with stuff like that. And one of them is you don't do that to the dog. It's just the way it is.
Yeah, I agree. Although early on, the dog gets like in the alligator's like stomach.
Yeah, true.
Like really early.
Yeah, they're already like ready for death, and it happens at the end. Like they don't pull punches.
Straight up kill her.
They kill her. Yep.
Say what you want about honestly, the robot faced a gruesome death too, turned into dog.
Yeah,
food.
but it's the robot was fine in the end. It was you made another great thing. It was like he was evil, but by turning him into dog food, you made him good again. Has the stupid big bandage wrapped around his head.
It's just like he used to be. I mean, it's just quiet.
Yeah. Meanwhile, this woman gets killed.
Oh, she's dead.
She's like eaten by alligators. That is dark for Wallace and
she
Gromit.
like floats up to heaven as the angel.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
Well,
kind of
that's-
funny. That's
yeah,
kind of
I
funny.
thought that was.
Sort of, but that's also like Wallace's imagination.
I mean,
because
yeah,
it's
but
like,
it's still, you could argue that makes it funnier.
another trouble for me with Paella is just that, like, I mean, they don't go like too much into this, but like all the fat jokes,
Yeah.
I just like rolling my eyes. I'd like, there's one that I'll grant them just because it's like it helps that it's clueless. Wallace is he saying like, "Are you still ballooning?" And says, "I beg your pardon," and it's just like, "No, on the ad."
Yeah.
It's like the hot air balloon. It's like,
Yeah.
"Oh no, I can't."
I know, I don't do that anymore.
Like,
Well
I'm-
then, gotta go on with the job then.
Yeah.
My problem with it is your problem with Wallace in the second one.
Yeah.
I feel it's worse here.
Yeah, I guess. I'm not going to pretend I don't have a problem with it. I just think it affects Gromit less frequently, so it bothered me less. But
Yeah.
I see your point, definitely.
Seeing a muzzle on Gromit.
Yeah,
like,
that was
come on.
bad. That was bad.
I wish Wallace questioned her a bit more, you know? I know he's drunk on love, but
yeah,
like, come on.
still.
I will grant that like the visual of like her staring at Gromit and then biting herself.
That was good.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
That was
What the-
that was
That was
crazy.
when we realized, oh, she's psychotic.
yeah, straight
Yeah.
up. She wants her baker's dozen.
Oh my god! Speaking of shots of her staring, like when Gromit is on the chandelier, and then he falls, and it zooms to her, and she opens her eyes, and then it cuts to like morning when he's on the
That
bed.
was such a well-edited shot.
That was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. And like he takes the diary and tries to show it to Wallace and said, "I got something to show you first." And it's like, we know how this is gonna go.
We
but,
know
like,
how.
she takes it behind her back, still acts her a little way, and then like throws it into the flames. We'll be what is it? We'll get on like a house on fire. I
Yeah.
forget what the
Yeah, it was like-
Yeah, we'll get on with like a house
Yeah,
on
something
fire.
weird.
we'll get on with like a house on fire.
Which is that a British thing? I actually don't know.
I assume it is, but it's a strange ass
Yes,
term.
it is. I watched the Cornetto trilogy and played Xenoblade. I know a thing or two about strange British terms. There were some still good things about it. Like, again, the opening sequence of them delivering bread was cool.
I loved. This is how basic I am. Like just they're pulling out like the rack of buns, and you see like the oven mitt, and it pulls out. It's a forklift with oven mitts. I was like, that's wonderful.
Yeah,
I love
seriously, it's great.
that. What were you gonna say?
I'm thinking about like the moment when they bond with each other. Again, this is kind of a cheap joke, but they did it. If you're gonna make a romance, make a joke about it at least. When they're like first getting to know each other and then the park bench, and all of a sudden it just cuts to like the bread forming up.
It looks so good.
Yeah,
too.
It
yeah.
does. It looks good, but like it's a joke.
Yeah, obviously, but
You
like,
know what they're going for.
yeah, let's focus on the bread.
But the bread does look damn good.
Yeah, this one definitely did not let me down with the visuals.
The first time that Paella gets like she just like flips on Wallace and just like screaming and calling it a fruitcake, and like later on he's like dishing out with Gromit, "I'm not a fruitcake, am I, lad?" And Gromit just had this face, it's like, "You're Wallace."
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't catch that the first time, and when I wanted watching it a second time, and I just caught it.
So good. It's so good.
And again, it's nothing is said. It's just Gromit's facial expression, where he's like, it's just perfect.
It also kind of perfectly shows that like Wallace doesn't really. What do we feel about Fluffle? Not Claire Fluffle, Fluffle the poodle.
Fluffles.
Fluffle.
Is it Fluffles?
Yes, it's
Yeah,
Fluffles.
Fluffles is the poodle.
Okay.
Fluffle is me. There's only one of me.
Yes.
Okay.
I think you're better than Fluffles, to be honest. But she is Gromit's love interest.
Yeah.
And a victim of violence.
Like
from the very beginning.
domestic
Yeah.
abuse.
Yeah, there's some domestic, and that's not funny.
No, she's shivering.
Yeah, she's shivering. the pie lady kicks her at points.
There's a
She
difference,
fucking punches in the
difference
face.
between being kicked and shivering compared to you're not going to turn me into dog food.
Yes.
There is a difference, and this is you can see by looking at the third one and this one.
I think it's sweet though when she like Aiela's redecorates the whole house and you just see Fluffles like with Gromit's stuff. Like that's nice. Like
Oh, yeah, that was sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'll regret that.
puppy love.
Yeah, puppy love with I forget what like Doggold Oswald. No, I forget what the artist name. I forget to write it down. But I think my issue is that like they gave Gromit a love interest, I guess because he never had one, and to which I say he's living with one. Okay, he has a girlfriend. It's Wallace.
That's a love that can't be replicated.
Exactly.
That's somebody that like you're very clearly frustrated with, but you know they mean well.
Yeah, you love. They've been around so long, you know and love them.
You know
Yeah.
how they are. Yeah, it's
I just felt bad for Fluffles. That's all I did. It wasn't funny. She didn't nothing. I don't think anything she did made me laugh.
I guess I liked at the end when Gromit took her hand and she let it go just because she wanted to like get distant from everything that had happened. But at the end, she still came back to deliver the dough with them. I thought that was pretty nice.
Yeah,
yeah.
and they all have chef hats on.
Yeah, that was cute. That was cute.
Yeah, oh yeah, and like they just pan up to the top of the van where you just see the three chef hats like pop up. Cute,
Yeah.
very cute.
Yeah, very nice.
It's I don't know if they were like because I didn't watch anything after this, so I don't know if Fluffles ever shows up again. It's definitely.
Is there anything after this? I thought this was the last one.
Well, I mean, they still make like stores, but I don't know if they.
Knowing the continuity of all the shorts, I'm going to assume no.
Yeah. Okay.
Because another love interest of Wallace is in the movie before this, and she's gone.
Okay. So yeah, we'll talk about that then.
We'll talk about that later. But
I don't know. Other than that, like there's is there like a bit where they're like filling up the bacon the bacon van with the diesel, and they switch the pump to tea to pour it into Wallace's cup, and it says tasting good, slightly diesely aftertaste.
Slightly diesely aftertaste, yes.
I don't really have much more to say about it. It was, I think I technically like it more than the first one. But
No,
The first one. I mean, obviously, I like the first one a lot. It's just got a style all of its own, and it's way too neat. It's way too nifty.
because that's the thing, they do so much with it with so little that I don't know if I can put it above it. I could put 2 above 1, but I don't know if I could put 4 above 1. I think I'm probably going to put on the bottom too.
And this, it's not to say that like it's like
Bad, yeah, it's not.
exactly. Like we still say like it's still great.
It's still great.
I still enjoyed my time with it.
But after watching the third one and going
after watching
to
the
this,
close shave, it's like it can
Yeah,
it can
no.
only go down from here.
Yeah.
True.
Not that big of a deal. It's,
Yeah.
you know, this is something that they made for Christmas. You know, they had just finished up a movie. Let's do another short. And then again, they made a bunch of web stories. They are going to be making another Wallace and Gromit movie.
They
I just
are?
saw that. Yup. 2024
Wait, what?
For the UK.
who's going to be Wallace?
That's a good. Yeah, that's something we didn't mention before. Is that the voiced by Peter Stellis.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. This that's just so wonderful as the voice of Wallace. But currently it's going to be voiced by Ben Whitehead, who's actually been doing the voice since 2005. They still have the options, and you know,
Yeah.
voice actors, they can, you know, they work with what they have with the, you know, passings.
It's not like they're having like Simon Pegg as Wallace.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
Jeez. Wensleydale. Sergeant Nicholas Wensleydale.
Again, it's good. It's very good.
It's good.
Yeah.
And we have one left to talk about, but we'll talk about them
in the next
in
episode.
the next episode.
Yes, because
Until then, that's the Wallace and Gromit.
Yeah, the bonus
Wallace and-
episode that is longer than the main episodes.
Yup.
mostly because of a bit.
Yes. Final thoughts. In general, I'll go first. I really liked all these shorts a lot. I don't usually watch much stop motion media. Chicken Run, Nightmare Before Christmas, maybe a few more. Something about the Wallace and Gromit shorts are just so charming. Even the first one that was a student film is so incredibly charming. They're written well, they're visually told well. Even the not so great one has some great clever moments that show Wallace and Gromit's comedy style and what they do. I'm really glad I saw these. I'm probably going to watch the second and third one again in my spare time. Maybe after this, definitely the third one. And yeah, now I'm hyped to see Were Rabbit. I'm worried about it, but I'm also hyped. I liked them a lot. I'm not going to rank them with any of the DreamWorks movies, though.
DreamWorks has like no involvement with any of these anyway.
I mean, they barely have any involvement with Aardman in general.
Yes.
Oh, we'll talk about that.
I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
I absolutely love these. Like we said, close save. If all you have time for somehow, you only have 30 minutes. You have and you want to watch the just one Wallace and Gromit short. It's a close save. It's got it's if you have an hour, I was throwing the wrong trousers. And you know what? Hour and a half. Grand day out. The fourth one, not totally necessary if you
really have time to kill.
If you really have time to kill, and if you're just like huge on Wallace, there's nothing like evil about it. There's nothing like shitty. Really, it's just that it's not as good as the sum of its parts. A close save. Oh my god, I feel anew after watching that. That was again perfect. Everything. I don't have anything negative to say about it. It's just perfectly done. And I'm especially glad that we did this, so we have some extra context going into Were Rabbit. We'll see what happens, because I'm very interested.
These shorts were really charming. I feel like only the third one is gonna super stick with me, but all four of them, I don't think any of these were bad. I don't even think any of them were that much worse than good. The fourth one is the only one that I think is very good. But 1, 3, and 4, 1, 3, and 2, I think are really great. With 3 being a very clear standout for me. But these were really fun. I don't know how often I'll revisit them. But I definitely 3. But I hold these in high regard. They're very cute. I like them a lot. I wish I was one of the dogs in the series, but alas,
you were close. You were very close.
I was very close.
And that concludes our bonus episode.
In the next episode, we're going back into actual DreamWorks.
Yes,
but
not leaving Wallace and Gromit.
But not leaving Wallace and Gromit. We finally know what their whole deal is. We're gonna see what does an hour and a half? Is it an hour and a half? I forgot to check.
What is a feature-length movie's worth of Wallace and Gromit?
Yeah, what is 85 minutes worth of Wallace and Gromit worth? And given what I know there's going to be a lot more characters in this.
Yes,
because they had if they're doing like feature length, they're gonna really crank up the scale of the film. We'll see how it goes.
There's 85 minutes of content in that film, but there's so many minutes of our content where you should plug, Wash.
Fine, I'll do the plug. If you like what you listen to, then you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/WRK podcast. You can listen to us in audio form at wrk.simplecast.com and wherever else you may get your podcast. And twitter.com/WRK podcast. Claire is part of a podcast as well.
I was there for one episode.
Yeah, it was one episode.
Well,
But you could subscribe to our YouTube channels as well. YouTube.com/FlareFluffle and YouTube.com/RandomBystanderHere.
And YouTube.com/Mr. Beast.
You're not Mr. Beast.
Sorry, YouTube.com/ArdmanAnimation. Look at my great source. I'm so talented.
Yeah. Until then, let's have some Wensleydale and end off the podcast.
I can't wait. I'm the Wash.
I'm Random Cheese here.
And I'm Claire.
And we will
cheese.
And we will cheese you next time.
Cheese.
Cheers.
Cheese. 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 And just end off while cutting that.
Okay.